Hi and welcome to eRacing GP. We are at the Global Edition 5. This is the 5th time we've run the Global Edition, where we run 4 categories of copper, bronze, silver and gold. My name's Alex Young, and next to me, I think this way or that way, is Amir Hazik. We'll be your commentators for the first half of today. Okay, so we have got 4 divisions, like we said: copper, bronze, silver and gold. We're starting with the copper class. Here are the 4 winners of each category at the moment. You can see these are the winners. We've got gold class winners: Nakib Aslan, they're leading the championship at the moment. Noor Shazizan is still winning for Singapore in silver, and Bernard Chan at bronze. But we are starting off with the copper class and with Kelvin Pao, and these are how the standings look at the moment. Amo, you want to take us through the standings?
Yep, and after about 3 rounds, Kelvin Pao leads with 97 points and utterly dominant so far. His worst finish this season has been 10th. His other finishes have all been in the podium. On the podium or in the points, Andres Villanueva 2nd, McGregor 3rd after winning last time at Watkins Glen. Kenneth Wong a discreet 4th, with Dimas Muhammad rather rear-end happy, shall we say, because he's been rear-ending quite a few people in the races. He's in 5th. Sage Nico 6th, Murugan 7th, Shuan Seah 8th, Nicky Lim and Brandon Watanabe tied for 10th.
Yeah,
tied for 9th.
Some pretty close racing though with Kelvin Pao. A small bit of a lead, but it's still not over, isn't it?
Yep.
Over to the Nations Cup. We have a Nations Cup, and Malaysia is leading at the moment. They won the last Global Edition. The previous 3 Global Editions before that, it's all been Philippines. And Malaysia has a big lead at the moment, but it's a really close battle now between Singapore and Philippines for 2nd and 3rd. On the Teams Cup, Stratos Motorsport are leading. Wow, only by 2 points by Tedco X Project Mu Racing. Sim Racing Filipinas in 3rd. They are our current Global Edition champions. They actually won every Global Edition that I can remember. But at the moment they are 3rd, with Blue Steel Racing in 4th and the Academy in 5th. Okay. That's quite interesting how the Teams Championship is getting a bit close now, isn't it, Amo?
Yeah, indeed, and the fact that Sim Racing Filipinas not dominating as well is kind of proven that the teams have actually bucked up, and in this case we were looking at Kelvin Pao, who has taken a spin. He'll probably be one of the biggest contributors to the points for Project Mu and Tecco, because he's currently leading the Copper Class Championship. And checking out some of their drivers in the standings as well, we got the likes of Harish Ami, of course. He's part of that Tecco squad. He's also getting some good points for them. So yeah, this team actually might, if they can keep this up, they might actually steal the crown away from Sim Racing Filipinas.
Okay, well, that's very, very close indeed. Good. Kelvin Pao is looking really quick as well on the live timings in the weekly leaderboards leading up to this race. We are at Aragon. We're on the Grand Prix track. It's the longest configuration where the cars drive on. The bikes, MotoGP comes here a lot, and they run on a slightly shorter configuration. But let's take you around for the lap of Aragon, and we'll ride on board with Ayman Hakim, who'll be racing later in the DTM 2016 cars.
Oh, a little bit of wheel spin there. As you can see, there's some kind of ball curbs there, that's what we call it. Do not hit it. It'll damage the suspension, especially for the F3 guys. And 6 gears down to the 1st turn, 2nd gear. Clip the apex, 3rd gear. Long right hander here. 4th gear. Oh, that's a big hit there. Definitely is gonna go and damage a little bit. You don't want that in the race. You damage the suspension, obviously. As you can see here, 4th gear. Spot your braking right. 2nd gear, and a little bit of exit over there. And we're coming down to the most unique section of the track. Here is coming down to the right and left section. Going down, oh, a little bit of oversteer there. 3rd gear, 4th gear. Opens up the throttle a little bit just to the car to rotate. 4th gear, 5th gear. And coming out to this section, look at on your right side, that is the curb. That is your braking point actually. That is the reference for your braking point. And it's a little bit of blind corner, so yeah, it's gonna be tricky. So 4th gear over here. 2nd gear here. Careful the ball curb again. A little bit oversteer, and coming down to the long straight. Obviously this one is more longer than the Hockenheim ring we had before, and we can plan all the overtakes here. And as you can see that on the left side over here, I was coming past by, this is the motorcycle layout. We're not going to use that. Spot the braking, 3rd, 2nd, 1st gear, hairpin, First gear, second gear, careful of the wheel spin on the worn tires. Third gear, fourth gear, coming down to the straight. Wave out to the fans, wave out to the pit crew, and that's it. One lap of Aragon circuit.
Wow.
Cheeky.
Lap there by that's kind of interesting. He's really quick, but he doesn't make mistakes. You can see he made a mistake on that lap. So don't know if he was pushing or not, but still good to see a lap of the track. If you watch on our screen right now, we've got Nico Sage or Sage Nico. We're never quite sure which way that goes. I think we call him Nico Sage probably. He's quickest at the moment. How old is he? He's like.
I think I recall from reading from a lot of people what they say he's actually either 8 or 9, so we can put around that ballpark, which is amazing to say the least, because there's so many kids who are racing in ERGP nowadays. They can be like future champions just coming through the ranks, so nice to see that they're actually fast as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been great. We've got a lot of 8-year-olds, 12-year-olds joining the Copper class. Copper class is, of course, the lowest category, and there he is, Sage Nico there on screen, getting ready to drive. And just before qualifying starts, we'll just come back. Qualifying will be starting in a second now, about to start off the laps. But before we start, quick thank you to our sponsors, of course, Race Room for one of the best sim games in the world. Of course, X Park. Yeah, of course, there we go. Got all the sponsors right down there, or the other way. Royal Salang, of course, world-class brand, doing all the pewter stuff, doing all our trophies for the Global Edition. Of course, Motorsport Playground, and of course, Life as well.
Right then, so we go into qualifying now. We're watching Sage Nico. He took a bit of his own sweet time there, about half a minute to get around the track, but nonetheless he's gotten underway now as he comes across the line to start his qualifying lap. Alex, what do you think that he'll end up here? Because so far at least he has been quite good in qualifying. His best start right now has been 4th, but 2/8 in the past 2 runs. Yeah, shows that he probably is not going to be threatening qualifying, unless we could be wrong here, because he was fast in practice just now.
Yeah, I mean, Nico's, you can see, even though he's so young, he's got a lot of natural talent. When the kids are this young, they don't really understand, explaining all the detailed stuff about how to drive a race car, they don't quite know. But you can see how much talent goes. He just does the laps, and he has a good natural feel for the balance of the car. And look, he's purple through Sector 1, so he is going quickest of all at the moment. You always feel he's on the cusp of a good result, but sometimes he's a bit naive with the racecraft, gets involved in incidents, and hasn't really achieved the full results. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Nico on the podium today, to be honest.
And of course, we saw that evidently at the start of the season in Red Bull Ring, where he was running up in the podium positions. Then he just got kicked out due to too many incident points. So that's probably a bit of the raw exuberance that he has at a very young age. So he'll probably need to temper that a bit as the season goes on. In fact, as the years go on, if he continues sim racing, he goes a bit wide there, just as we said. Raw exuberance, and that's it. He just went a bit wide there. Now he's going to have to restart the lap. So Nico then would have been pulled for sure, because yes, he was setting purple sectors, but unfortunately he was probably one of the first drivers to break, one of the few drivers to have broken the timing, because we have no lap set yet. So we're watching Kelvin Pao now.
Anyway, so he was on for a good lap, but made a mistake. Now on with Kelvin Pao, championship leader, let's not forget. Purple in Sector 1, purple in Sector 2. So this should be good enough to go quickest of all as he crosses the line. And there he is. He looks pretty happy with that lap. He is. Oh no!
And in fact, where did Sage actually get that lap from? Because we could have sworn that he actually went back into the start of the pits. Oh no, wait, because Nico's actually in a different car. That was a completely different car that we're viewing it. I think that was either Keith Moore, because Keith Moore was driving one of those blue cars, so it might have been him that we were looking at. So apologies there for Sage. We got a completely wrong car, but there it is. Nico takes the lead in qualifying, so he's on pole position, a 10th up ahead of Brendan Watanabe, championship hopeful as well at one point, until a couple of really bad races. He has dropped to 10th place, but nonetheless, the two drivers who are not in contention for the championship are leading the way. Yeah.
So Nico onto a better lap at the moment. Yeah, sorry, we had got the graphics wrong, and this is looking like a lot better. This looks like he's down a 10th on Sector 1, so he doesn't look like he's going to improve. There's still a lot more of the lap to go. But let's just go back to Keith Moe, because Keith Moe was, I think, the driver we were on just now. He is another young driver. I think he's how old is he? I think he's 7 years old. So again, great to see him out there doing well. He's not ready to run at the front yet. He still needs a bit more experience, but great to see the driver up there.
Indeed, and I think about 7 or 8. Of course, this is also hearsay. Some people say 7 or 8 because we're not really sure until they say what year they are in school. So that's pretty much it. And of course, some of these kids have either early or late birthdays, or in the middle of the year. So we're not really sure as we look back now at Sage Nico, about 700 off in the second sector, so this could potentially be an improvement to inch himself ahead of Brandon Watanabe, and that would be throwing span into the books. So that would be the third different pole sitter we had in the season so far, because obviously Kelvin Pao has had 2, and Villanueva has had 1. In fact, there's Villanueva on screen there. We're looking at him, and here is also we're looking at his championship rival. We're looking at 3 separate drivers here, because they could potentially be snatching pole position at Aragon. In fact, 100th ahead is Kelvin Pao in the first sector, as I think Nico has crossed the line. No improvement so far.
Yeah, no improvement so far, but this looks quite good. Purple in sector 1 for Kelvin Pao. We didn't get a sector 2 time, but we think he looks good, doesn't it? Don't we?
Looks a bit smooth. Well, you can say a bit slow as well, but you know, the smoothest drivers always get the best times, and in this case, Kelvin Pao is just a little bit understated. It's just that he's not as exuberant with the car as some other drivers would.
Oof.
Look at that. Well, actually, apart from that, but you really need to muscle that car around, because, mind you, these cars have no traction control, but they do have ABS, so you can get away with. Sorry, the opposite way around. They have traction control, but no ABS, so you have to muscle the car around. As he comes across the line now, where will he put him on the timing charts? No improvement. It's still 3rd place, but he is ahead, crucially, of his championship rival Andres Villanueva.
Wow. Sri Murugan just goes up to 5th position. Good lap by the Malaysian, so that was a last minute lap. Sage Nico though, wow, that's a really good lap by him. A 10th up on everyone else.
And interesting to see that he is a part of the Stratos team, so I think James Russell might be involved in coaching the kid. But yes, so currently, as it stands, almost 2 tenths ahead is Sage Nico, or Nico Sage, on pole position. 2nd is Brandon Watanabe, 3rd Kelvin Pao, 4th Andres Villanueva, 5th Sri Murugan, and the rest of the field. Andrew Loke, that's a nice thing to see, because he's been really struggling in the last few races, but he's up in the top 10. 7th Kenneth Wong, 8th Jack Mcgregor, 9th Shuan Seah, and 10th is Reynolds Julie, with the other championship contender John McGregor just outside the top 10.
Oh. Okay, so quite a close qualifying. Well, not that close, to be honest.
Okay.
Actually, they were a bit spread out.
Yep.
And look at
He's
Nico.
psyched. He is absolutely psyched. In fact, he's probably knowing that he's on camera right now.
Yeah, he's really happy with that lap. If we had a bit more time, we'd go to him and talk to him about how that lap was. But nah, I think he needs to focus on the race coming up.
Yeah, we shouldn't really do that, because we've had quite a few instances where the interviews have actually screwed over the race preparation. So it's important for the drivers to be in that zone, and especially for Nico as well, because being so young and he's not used to being interviewed prior to start race as some other drivers. So yeah, we just leave him to that.
Yeah, absolutely. 34 seconds before we start the race. Let's talk a little bit about Aragon. Aragon is it looks like a very simple track, but you got a lot of these radius corners that tighten up at the end. So drivers do often get track limits issues. So this is a tricky track. It's not as simple as you think, although there's a lot of run-up area. It's hard to get it quite right.
Yeah, absolutely. And the fact that with the amount of run-up that they have here, because it's specifically a bike track, because we know that they host the Aragon Grand Prix for MotoGP, and last year the Teruel Grand Prix, because they ran it twice. So the amount of run-up here was just to cater to the bikes, and for the cars they just had to deal with it. As we now go for the 5 red lights, we're looking at the back of the grid here. We're looking at Joey Gutierrez. The name at the bottom says Sage Nico for Stratos, but we're looking at Gutierrez at the back as 5 red lights now come on. And when they go out here, we're underway for the Copper class at Aragon. And there's a good start there for Sage Nico. Nico's actually gotten the jump on Brandon Watanabe. Watanabe now has to hold off Kelvin Pao, Murugan, and Villanueva as they come to turn 1. As Keith Moore has a bit of a slow start there, a bit gingerly even, as the rest of the field now stream through turn 1, 2, and 3. Sage Nico's got the getaway that he wanted. He's already a second ahead of Brandon Watanabe. Kelvin Pao then still in 3rd, while Murugan has got up to 4th in front of Andres and Villanueva as they come through now. Turn 4 and 5. This is going to be very tricky for some of the cars, because they had to brake so hard and try to turn without actually getting track limits on the outside. As one of the cars there spins around, as we're not sure who spun around there, but the rest of the field goes through as
Sri Murugan.
Murugan goes off white, and there's that trickiness that we say, because despite having a lot of runoff area, there's a lot of heavy braking zone here for the cars to actually negotiate.
Yeah. So Watanabe there fending off Kelvin Pao, defended really well into those corners a couple corners ago, and has a bit of daylight now between him and the Kelvin Pao and the black car. Of course, the second black car there, Villanueva from Philippines in 4th position. Those two guys, these two black cars, they're the ones fighting out for the championship. So while we do want to see who wins the race, we also need to... Oh, Villanueva brakes really late and just about stops from going up the back of Kelvin Pao.
Well, that will be a real turnout for the books, isn't it? If both championship contenders hit right there. John McGregor and indeed Kenneth Wong will be licking their lips that they might actually have an opportunity, but unfortunately for them, they're both still in the race and they're now chasing for the back of Brandon Watanabe on the rostrum. Second place right now, Brandon Watanabe is under huge pressure from Kelvin Pao as they come to the final 2 corners of the circuit. This is where they're going to peel off towards the end. Normally the bikes will turn off right around here where it's an absolutely fast left-hander. The cars will now go straight on and into a heavy braking zone. Kelvin Pao on the outside and Villanueva watching brief just on the inside there. Are they going to touch? Yes, they do. And Brandon Watanabe somehow gets away with it. Villanueva tries to go through, but unfortunately no way through yet.
Good defending by Watanabe there. Watanabe showing he knows how to defend. And yes, it's getting very testy, shall I say, between the championship rivals. Just behind him, Kelvin Pao looking down the inside. Whoa, that is from very far back. I don't think that was a good move. High risk move, and it did not pay off. And now we have Villanueva all over the back of Pao.
Well, Pao there will probably count his lucky stars that he didn't actually hit Brandon Watanabe. But unfortunately for him, he's actually sandwiched between 2 Filipino drivers who, I think, let's be honest, they might be helping each other out here for the sake of one driver winning championship, because the Filipino drivers are actually very close. They will help each other out no matter what. And in this case, I think Watanabe is just probably holding on the pace right now. He's probably boxing him in. You think team tactics are involved, Alex?
Oh, maybe. As long as it doesn't step over the line to illegal tactics. If that happens, obviously, then we'll be taking action. But at the moment, so far, quite clean. Even Watanabe is not. He is defending well, but he's not being ultra defensive. I feel if Kelvin Pao is a bit more aggressive and goes tries to throw him a dummy, he might be able to get past.
Yep, and we see that he tried to go for the inside. It wasn't selling the dummy that time. He'll probably be thinking about that as the race goes on. We only have about 50 minutes. It's a short sprint race for both these races, and in fact for the entire championship we run so far, and it's been well received because the drivers can just go hell for leather and just push all the way. As Kelvin Pao then on the back of Brandon Watanabe, Villanueva also watching brief. He'll probably know full well that he's between two fellow countrymen, so he doesn't want to actually fall for any tactics that they might play, or in this case they're not actually playing any tactics right now, but you never know as they come out to the last corner.
And let's just remind ourselves that Nico Sage is at the leading quite well, but back to that battle between second position. Oh, nice move by Kelvin Pao down the inside, just sent it from way back. I don't know if Watanabe expected him, because he wasn't defending on this lap, and now it's allowed Villanueva through, and Watanabe goes down to 4th.
Surprised no team tactics there, and the fact that surprised as well that Watanabe didn't defend as hard as he should have actually, because he knows full well that Kelvin Pao is one of the faster drivers in this championship and he's leading the way right now. You might think that he would have actually tried defending for his position on the rostrum, but unfortunately now that has demoted him to 4th place, and was still Kenneth Wong, who's up there in the championship, 4th place in the championship right now, chasing him as well. Yeah, so Kenneth Wong in 5th at the moment. He's fighting for the championship, so he needs to get into this battle just in front of him. And of course, John McGregor, who won a race at Watkins Glen. Sorry, that's Jack McGregor, sorry. His son, who finished 2nd to his dad. There in 6th position. Sri Murugan, he's recovered to 7th. Andrew Locke, having a good battle, and he's just had contact with Ronaldo Julie from Indonesia, and Julie goes off. Wow, I bet the stewards are having a look at that. But for now, Andrew Locke survives, and it's now got John McGregor, the father of Jack, all over the back of him. And look down the inside. Chris Chew's going down the inside of John McGregor there, not able to do it just yet. Very feisty there in the mid-pack. In fact, towards the middle of the point-scoring position. So every single point counts for these guys. And Andrew Locke here will probably be thinking that he wants to get some points on the board. In fact, he's only scored 1 all season with 15th place finish at the Red Bull Ring, so this is his best running all season, and he definitely wants to actually try to hold off a pack of very hungry drivers who just want to get points off him. Yeah, just going back down, looking at Ronaldo Judy, who was speared off after contact with Andrew Locke. He's all the way down 17th position, so he's got a long way to recover. Back at the front though, there we go. Nico Sage, look at that, 3.7 second gap, and then second position. Wow, Kelvin Pao extending his gap, his second position from Villanueva. Wow, that's actually quite a surprise at how far that Nico has managed to pull ahead, because he did have that brilliant start. He got that launch well, but didn't expect him to actually pull off a gap this big in just a short period of time. In fact, we're already halfway through the race. So within 3 laps, he's pulled up a 3-second gap. It's going to be even further up, because we know that Kelvin Pao, Villanueva, and Watanabe were squabbling earlier. The previous lap that allowed Pao out and Villanueva up a position. And in fact, it's actually increased to about 3.6 seconds as we cross the line. In fact, the gaps actually fluctuate because it's a live gap, but nonetheless, it's a fastest lap for Nico, 2:04.8.
Wow, that is a good lap. I don't think anyone's gotten... Wow, yeah, actually no one else is in the 4s that I can see, so really good lap. It's almost turning into a little bit of a dominating win, or let's not talk it too early, but it's definitely a dominating lead at the moment.
We wouldn't want to jinx him this early, because you never know what can happen, because we've seen some crazy things happen in eRGP where drivers lead the way and then throw it all to actually give their rivals a head. So we're not going to give that yet to Sage, so we'll let him continue on his merry way. But he's looking absolutely so good at the front right now.
Yeah, he is.
Coming through the waterfall section, there's no official names on the track at Aragon at the moment, because it's such a... Well, not to say such a new track, because it's been around since 2010 when MotoGP first came here. So it's actually quite an old circuit by by modern standards, but 11 years old is not really that old right now. So it's quite an interesting circuit, because we have not seen that many car races here, mostly motorbikes, but nonetheless it's quite a challenging circuit. There's that waterfall section, as we call it, is beyond that brick wall. Very interesting circuit. Just unfortunate F1 never came here, but nonetheless we still see some top class motorsports come here in real life, and indeed we're seeing some good racing so far in the ERGP Copper class.
Yeah, Villanueva always breaks super late for turn 12, always close to the gap, but the smoothness of Kelvin Pao through the last part through turns 13, 14, 15, so he's always got a big gap as he comes down the back straight. Villanueva needs to be closer as he comes down the back straight, so he can maybe benefit from a bit of a toe to try and take that move. Yeah. Let's go for a bit further back. Jack Mcgregor, they're starting to close the gap a little bit on Kenneth Wong.
Yep, and Kenneth will be looking over his shoulder. In fact, he wouldn't be believing that behind his mirrors there's another kid actually chasing him. Yes, there's a kid leading out in front, Nico Sage, but there's also another up-and-coming talent through Jack Mcgregor, who has actually impressed so far in his only his second ever round in eRGP, but nonetheless, a podium last time out by virtue of a reverse grid, second to his dad, and now he'll be looking to actually take a few more points off other drivers here.
Well, let's go back to his dad right now, because his dad's just overtaken him. John McGregor, they just got... Oof, as you saw someone go off in the distance there. Who was that? I think that was
Han Xiao Liu. That's Han, yeah, our driver that actually comes to the academy. So Han actually went off big time there. Yeah,
he did. So just getting a little bit messy there. And actually another academy driver, we got Yan Ming just behind him as well. Yang Ming actually was third in the weekly leaderboard, so we know we can set a good time, but maybe just inexperienced a bit, not able to put out the laps as consistently as the others at the front.
Well, let's just stay here for a while, because this will be interesting to see. Very experienced driver in real life, Han against a very young kid, and Yan Ming goes around the outside, takes him for 14, so he'll be looking at the replay of that one after this.
Yeah, and I think the reverse grid for this race today is, I think, 11th, so they need to try and make a couple positions. Would put them in pole position. Who's that?
Open your mouth right there, Alex. There you go.
Dimas Muhammad, and I think it was Azmi Arifin had contact just now, and that's dropped them down a few places. And as we speak, so.
Whoa! There's some more contact there. There's a lot of spin. Oh, that's a spin for Han. So there goes Han's opportunity to actually get pole position, which is currently held right now by Keith Moe. Oh, nearly gets hit by Lim Nicky there. So Nicky's having an absolute shock of a race around as well. Here's the guy who's on pole position for the following race, Keith Moe in 11th, so he'll be starting his first ever race on pole. Keith,
he's got to be younger than 8. I think he's really young, but yes, he might be starting from pole, so he just needs to stay there. Obviously a long way to go still, but really good to see the youngsters doing so well.
Absolutely, and then by my count, Sage, Jack, and Keith. So yeah, that's about 3 kids under the age of 12 in the top 11 at the moment, so that's pretty impressive. As we're looking at Chris Chu here, he's working on the back of Andrew Lowe. Lowe probably be thinking like, why am I dropping it like a stone? I started 6th, now I'm 9th, so he'll be thankful that he's still in the points, but nonetheless he'll be wishing that he actually had better race pace to actually still stick it up to the top 5, as they now complete another lap 6 at the moment. We got about 4 minutes left to go. Sage Nico still well and truly serenely ahead, about 4 seconds of Kelvin Pao now. And the drivers drivers in second, third, and fourth are not really battling each other. So Nico then has actually brilliant race pace to pull ahead of them.
Wow, it's really impressive. We saw that he was due a good result. We just talked about it in the pre-show, and he's just showing what he can do. Now, this battle for second place is getting a bit closer, because look, Brandon Watanabe has got in front of Villanueva, and they're all coming together and getting a bit closer to Kelvin Pao in second.
So no love lost there between the two Filipinos. In fact, Brandon Watanabe probably just want to get a move on here because he did go up second as whoa, Villanueva nearly runs into the back of him. So there's Villanueva's chance of a podium probably gone unless Brandon Watanabe can actually do anything about it with Kelvin Pao. If he engages in battle, he can actually bring Villanueva back into play. But as it stands, Pao then has pulled a bit of a gap here, about almost a second to Brandon Watanabe. Yeah,
so quite interesting to see Villanueva get turn 12 wrong. When he gets turn 12 right, he's actually quickest of all through turn 12. But he's just a little bit too aggressive, braking a little bit too late. It's not carrying the speeds through then turns 13, 14, and 15. And that's where he loses out to these guys. These guys are getting better exits out of those corners.
Indeed, and the fact that has actually proven to be his detriment, because remember, we saw just now at the very start of the race, he nearly ran to the back of Kelvin Pao there, so it might have actually shocked him a bit, knowing that he could actually easily lose a race there. He tried to push it a bit at times. There we go, we're seeing Watanabe in the inset right now, but he just probably needs to regroup himself and try to get back into the back of both of them. But as it stands now, we got about 2 laps to go here, and 2 laps for Villanueva to do anything about the drivers in front of him.
And there we've got Jack Mcgregor. He's somehow found a way past Kenneth Wong out of picture. Kenneth Wong then runs wide at turn 1 and loses more ground to him. Sri Murugan there in 8th position, closing down that gap. Let's go back a bit more. It's a battle for 10th position right now between Shuan Seah in the turquoise and orange car, and then Keith Moe in the blue car. These guys will be on the front row if they stay in these positions for race 2.
Yep. And for Keith Moe's benefit, he'll actually get more points on the board. In fact, 6th place for 10th. Won't hurt him too much, but he'll probably be wanting to start on pole if he knows about it, of course, because while they're driving, they don't know that there's a reverse grid position, so he'd be blissfully unaware right now that he's on pole position.
Just behind you, Azmi Arifin. Azmi, if he can just close down the gap, it's like 2 seconds now. If he can close down the gap a bit more and take that position, he will be in the front row. Oh, front is a bit wide there on the entry. Just behind him as Adam Kondrolochis. And then that battle before we were watching on between Yang Ming, Dimas Muhammad there behind him just recovered a little bit in the white car. Behind him, Ronaldo Julie is trying to get back, and he's all over the back of Nicky Lim. Nicky Lim's in the yellow car. Looks like he's had some damage in that car because that headlight looks a bit damaged. Very narrow into this corner. Compromises his exit into this next left-hander, and he runs wide again, and that's allowing Ronaldo Julie to get a really good run on him down this. It's not really a back straight, but it's one of the back straights. Can he switch back to the inside? He does switch back to the inside. And let's see if Nicky will. Yeah, Nicky does defend into this corner. Oh! And contact between the two of them. Oof, I'm going to have to say that was a mistake by Julie there, because Nicky was defending the inside, but there was space to the left and to the right of him. But Ronaldo Julie, I think, got caught out by Nicky braking a little bit earlier than he expected, and he just went into the back of him.
And he goes even further wide there, so compounding his misery at the moment. He's not having a really good race as Shuan Seah goes on the inside of Chris Chu, and he takes 9th place away. So he managed to pull a bit of a gap from Keith Moe. We thought that Keith was actually close enough to challenge Sean, but nonetheless, 9th place for him as we look up in front. Sage Nico, who has been untroubled since the start of the race, a perfect launch off the line, and he's well on his way to take his first victory in this season, not only this season, but his first ever victory in eRGP.
Yeah, here's the battle for 2nd position. Kelvin Pao, Watanabe in 3rd, and Villanueva in 4th. Looks like it's kind of settled, although they are close enough. If one of them makes a mistake, you're going to see someone coming through.
Crucially, then, for Kelvin, he's actually still leading the championship after this. So he'll increase the gap even to Villanueva, and Villanueva then will try his absolute best, trying to actually get by his fellow countryman Brandon Watanabe. In fact, he's closed up to Watanabe in the last couple of laps. He just needs to get his maneuver done because he doesn't want to bleed any more points to Kelvin Pao. Does he try the inside here? Well, you know what? He nearly did. He ran into the back of Brandon Watanabe, but again, it's that braking zone that he's been struggling with, even though that's one of his fastest corners. Yeah, now these are the next few corners he needs to get right. He needs to get good. See, he's braking too late. It compromises his exit out the right-hander, then compromises his entry into the left-hander. Although Watanabe made a mistake, and that's allowing Villanueva to come back at him. Side by side, they go onto the back straight, coming up to turn 16. I think Villanueva has gotten a bit of a run, though they're going side by side here on the back straight, and Villanueva's just gotten in front of Watanabe. Has he got the line on the inside? Yes, he does. He's going to actually take third place away on the final lap from Brandon Watanabe. Watanabe will be kicking himself. But meanwhile, back up in front, Nico there, he's nodding his head in acknowledgement. He comes across the line here to take the win in the Copper class at Motorland Aragon. There you go, both hands up in the air. Unfortunately, we don't have that driver animation to do so. But Sage Nico takes the win in Copper class, round 4, race 1.
All right, that's a fantastic result by Nico. We have to talk to him at this point. Let's see if we can listen to him. Nico, can you hear us? I think that's his dad there holding the camera for him. Nico, can you hear us? Yeah, I think we can hear you.
I think you can hear more of the game sound right now.
Yeah, it's more the game sound at the moment, just trying to figure it out. Great result though, Sage, Nico Sage. We always call him Sage Nico because they had his name back with him before. But anyway, great win for that. He will be starting 11th on the grid for the next one. Hey, Nico, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Okay,
Wow, good result. Well done.
I was very happy for the race. I was obtaining the lead for quite a lot from the beginning of the race. And when I was the final lap, I was just so happy to win the first race in racing.
And this is probably your first post-race interview as well. So well done. We'll leave you so you can focus on the next race. Just tell your dad, Jean-Luc, that his internet's a bit low. But good luck for the next one.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, well.
A bit of a candid interview there, but you know, it's a given because we've seen some kids being interviewed on the RGP as well, like Yevin David, I think. Was it Yannick or Yevin? I'm not quite sure because they're all pretty much triplets. He was a bit shy on camera as well, so you can forgive him for that, but you cannot excuse what he's done on track. You cannot put past what he's put on track. It's an absolutely brilliant performance, and it's a lights the flight victory with the fastest lap to boot. So Nico from Kelvin Pao, from Villanueva, and then Watanabe, Jack Mcgregor, Kenneth Wong, Sheree Murugan, Shuan Seah, Andrew Lok, and Chris Chu. So an absolutely, utterly brilliant performance from the young Malaysian.
Okay. So, I think Azmi Arifin actually finished 11th for the end there. Must have taken Keith Moa just at the last lap of the race. So I think it's the top 11. I can't quite remember. We set it in the server beforehand, last minute, so no one really knows. Yeah, I think that's no, that's Keith Moa in pole position.
Yeah.
So it's a top 12 reverse grid for race 2.
And Azmi also lines out on the front row of the grid. So that's a great recovery from him after in a polling round last time at Watkins Glen. So to see, for him to be on pole, he's going to have a great shot of actually getting his first win as well. So it'll be an interesting race to see drivers who actually never had an opportunity to win to do so now. As we now have the 5 red lights on here for the second race at Aragon. We're not looking at Sage Nico, actually. Nico's further behind in 12th place. We're looking at another young gun. It's Kimo up in front, and we get this race underway. And it's actually Kimo who has actually had a better launch off the line. Arifin goes onto the inside. Does he get the braking in time? Yes, he does. In fact, what a good launch through the first corner. He gets the whole shot. Azmi Arifin leads. Second is Kimo. Third is Andrew Loka, and fourth is Shuan Seah as the drivers now stream their way up to sector 2.
Keith Moore there looking very focused, absolutely unperturbed by what's going on around him. Showing to be very calm there. Oh, as I say that, he just runs a little bit wide, but no, that's okay for now. Third position there, we have Andrew Locke all over the back of him.
And Locke then also having a good run here. In fact, one of his best races so far this season to be up in the top 10. And we're looking to actually get a podium out of that because unfortunately for him, there will be not many points on offer in the second race. But nonetheless, it will be great for him to actually get away from this season to actually have points on the, podium on the board. As we look at Team Moore there with a lot of opposite Locke trying to get around through the waterfall section. As they come out now through the third sector, as we look further behind, well actually not further behind, just a bit behind, is Shuan Seah, and the rest of the field there stream their way through, coming out to the third sector.
Oof, Kenneth Wong that gets tagged there by Murugan. Murugan a little bit rough there, but he just about holds it. A bit of a drifting move there, and he survives, so now in 6th position.
And Murugan probably going back to a bit of his old ways. We had not seen a lot of him on the highlight reels and indeed on the action, because in the first couple of seasons we of course knew about how aggressive he was when he's trying to overtake drivers, he actually went back to his old ways there. But luckily, he didn't take out Kenneth Wong completely, as now Wong and Jack Mcgregor try to go on the inside as we look back further in front. Andrew Loke tries to go on the inside. Keith Mo, does he get a move state? Yes, he does. Locks up a bit and he gets third place away. And Shuan Seah opportunistically gets third place away from Keith Mo, but Mo fights back and Mo gets himself back up for third. So he is not letting himself getting bullied here at the front, despite his young age. He's going to come through into the second lap in third place.
Back at the front, Asmi Arfin there leading the race, but down the inside though, Shuan Seah there just gets down the inside of Keith Mo, not able to make it though, and at the moment Keith Mo survives for now.
Yeah, Mo then under huge pressure and he's under siege basically from the other drivers who just want to take away his third place on the rostrum away from him, as Nico Sage has actually moved his way up to 6th place from 12th, so that's a good start for him as well. He's actually making the most use of his actually good starts to get back to get up through the order, and right now at least he's looking on course to actually score a double points finish as Keith Mo gets pushed wide a bit there by Kenneth Wong, and Wong actually takes away 5th place. Sage looking to actually try to be the big beneficiary of that, but unfortunately around the outside goes Jack McGregor, so we got all 3 kids who are the young guns of the future together here right now, as Murugan also wants to get in on the action. So Keith Mo then under siege here. He's trying his best to actually defend. He's going to do something like he did in the Hockenheim ring, where he defended for his life to actually score some points there.
Yeah, and Sage and Nico there. Murugan goes to the outside. There's contact with the cars. This is really turning out to be where all the action happens. This turn 12 there. Murugan there getting wide. And then Murugan there spins in the green car. Just a little bit too aggressive. And ran out of ability or talent, or maybe had contact or something, and he's gone wide.
And that puts paid to any points that he could have scored in this round. So unfortunate for Murugan, and we're gonna have to move on from that one as we look back here still to Sage Nico, and he's still behind Keith Mo. In fact, McGregor's actually gotten ahead of them. So yeah, this is actually turned out to be a really great battle in the midfield. Is that Kelvin Pao onto the inside? I think it is Kelvin Pao trying to overtake Villanueva. Oh, Keith Mo spins, and that's actually going to cause a bit of a kerfuffle through the pack. A lot of drivers get caught up by that, and that crucially might have been Kelvin Pao. No, it isn't. It isn't actually. That is actually Villanueva.
Yeah, so Villanueva was the unlucky guy. They looked like he was battling with Kelvin Pao, and yeah, he's just dropped all the way back there. Got caught up with Keith Mo's spin. Such a shame for the Filipino driver. And there he is now in 13th position, where he was in the top 10 earlier. Dives down the inside of Keith Mo. He's annoyed. He wants to try and get his position back. And then he goes really wide and now loses 2 positions.
And I think it's Villanueva that they referred to as... No, that was Brandon Watanabe they referred to as SpongeBob. So I was about to say he has to be absorbing here to take up everything that has happened, and just right there he actually got a bit of emotional. I think, not to say emotional, but he just wanted to get move on quickly and barge Keith Mo out of the way. So there's going to be a lot of stewards inquiries on some of the moves that's being done there, as he's now falling like a stone further behind. He's going to get taken here by Dimas Mohamed. Dimas, who we know is quite aggressive when it comes to overtakes, and takes away 15 there almost undramatically, but it's just they're going to go side by side coming through the waterfall section. It's gone horribly wrong again for Andres Villanueva. He hasn't had good second races anyway, so yeah, this is actually not going to be in fact there's going to be a second race in a row where he's ended up outside the points.
Yeah, so a bit unlucky with Keith Mo spinning in front of him, but now I think he's just maybe losing his cool a bit and he's just going backwards. He needs to calm down. There's still 9 minutes to go. Still plenty he can do in this race if he just keeps it calm. As someone goes off behind him, that's Ronaldo Julie again, getting involved with a bit of contact behind, and that's puts him right down to the bottom of the field.
And you can see where the tire tracks lead up to the scene of the accident. So it might have been contact, because we haven't seen anyone lose it there, to be honest, because that would be quite weird to lose the car to the right when normally the cars are actually heavier to the left when they try to load the brake. Speaking of loading on the brakes, that's a big hit for one of the green looking cars. In fact, I think that was Sage Nico hitting the side of Yang Ming Chiu. So Han actually got hit by into the back by Sage Nico there. So Han, who should have been up to second, has actually lost out here. So unfortunate for him to actually lose out that many positions.
Wow. So okay, Shuan Seah at the moment still leads this race, but there's a great battle going on for second position. Kenneth Wong, they're just about holding off Andrew Locke. Is it Jack Mcgregor just behind him as well? So it's all getting very tasty here at the front.
And sorry, that was actually Yan Ming. So Yan Ming actually got hit by another golf color looking car that I think would have been actually Sage Nico. In fact, Nico's dropped out of the driving screen, so that collision might have been enough to send him out of the race, I think.
Wow. So okay, yeah, Villanueva's off the race right now. I think he might have rage quit actually. But Jack Mcgregor there, able to find some positions. He's just in front of Azmi Arifin, and of course Sage Nico Sage, shall we say. Really going side by side there. Good contact. Oh, Azmi Arifin gets contact by Nico, and that's going to put him down the back. And there's Nicky Lim's also getting involved in the wars there.
And I'm sorry, I thought for a second that Sage was out of the race, because from my timing screen I'm looking at right now, I didn't see Sage's name for a second. But there we go, Sage is still in the race, and will probably be given a steward's inquiry, I think, because he was involved in that melee that sent Nicky Lim to the back, further back, as whoa, he goes wide there through turn 14, and he's lucky to actually get it up, but unfortunately he's gotten Andrew Lowe right behind him, and he's under severe pressure right now to hold on to his 4th place.
Yeah, so I mean, we saw Nico win race 1, but just showing us a little bit of his inexperience there. Had a contact with someone else, and then very next corner just ran wide. He's got dirt in his tyres as well, but will he have to defend from Locke into the hairpin? Locke's definitely close enough. Nico's defending the inside, which is a smart move.
Oh, who's that coming in very, very hot?
Whoa!
Behind him. That is actually Chris Chu, I think. No, is actually Yan Ming. So
and Locke gets through the second.
Sorry, that's Azmi Arifin. And Locke actually gets up to, was that 4th place? Yeah, that was a big he's the big beneficiary of that. But Azmi Arifin now has a potential to actually take 2 positions away from both of them. He nearly went into the back of both of them. He had an absolute lunge there, and could have taken 4th place, as Nico then goes up to 4th.
Runs wide though, not too wide though, still able to hold the position. Whoa, side by side as he goes through turns 3 and 4, and Locke just gets in front, gets his nose in front at the exit of this corner.
Wow, and the battle's still not over yet. We still have Azmi Arifin involved with both of them, and here he is now around the outside. Nico and Azmi Arifin go side by side, almost door handle to door handle, the proverbial door handle, because we're going to use that term more often. As is that Yan Ming also involved? Yes, it is. So 4 cars involved here for the rest of the point scoring positions from 4th all the way to 7th. This is an absolutely brilliant battle. And Nico then goes onto the inside of Andrew Lowe. Does he get the move done? No, he doesn't. They go side by side. 4 cars in one shot. In fact, they nearly went three abreast there, coming through turn 8. This is an absolutely amazing sight to see.
Wow, it's top racing indeed. And then Yang Ming in the green car just watching, also had a slide coming out of that chicane. I think, let's see, Nico's going to send it down the inside. No, he decides to just be really late on the brakes. Goes around the outside, in fact. I think Locke was just a bit too conservative and braked just super early for turn 12. Now he goes super aggressive, and now goes too aggressive and goes completely wide. And whoa! And then down the inside, it's that
Yang Ming.
That's Yang Ming.
So that's the academy driver trying to go through the inside. So that's 2 kids going at it. As where is Andrew Lowe? Where's that recovering Andrew Lowe? There he is. He's actually gone through the sandpit, because that's one of the only areas where they had actual gravel as opposed to asphalt. So he found that one, and unfortunately lost a bit of grip. As Jack Mcgregor takes the lead. I think Kenneth Wong goes into the inside, and Shuan Seah as well is involved in this. So Jack Mcgregor leads the race.
Wow, so could this be a first win for Jack Mcgregor, the youngster from Singapore in the yellow car? He finished 2nd at the last race in Watkins Glen, and is right now 1 better. But we're watching the battle now between 2nd and 3rd, between Shuan Seah and Kenneth Wong. Wong in the white Aquila CR1 car, just looking just right underneath the nose, under the boot lid of Seah.
Yeah, and in fact, the front splitted in, tucking up onto the rear wing of Shuan Seah. Shuan there. Was that Shuan actually trying to go through the inside, or was it McGregor? I think it was McGregor that went into the inside, because he really barged his way through to take the lead of the race, and now he's not trying to look back here. He's actually building on what was actually a pretty decent result last time at Watkins Glen, and I'm not sure where he finished. Oh no, he was actually in the top 10 in that first race, so he's gonna score a healthy helping of points here for this round at Aragon.
Yeah. So Nico there up in 4th position, and Azmi Arifin in 5th. And Yang Ming still surviving that right now in 6th position.
Yeah, Yan Ming actually doing quite well. As he ate a lot of the curve there to take the car around through turn 8 and 9. Yeah, this is actually a good result for not only for Yan Ming, but also for a lot of the other academy drivers and a lot of the young drivers who are coming here. In fact, here's another academy driver, Lim Nicky, involved in the wars. He did have a spin earlier, but he recovered well enough to actually go back up to the top 10 as... Is that Kelvin Pao? Yeah, yes it is. It's Kelvin Pao on the inside, and he takes 9 places away from Chris Chu. So Kelvin Pao then looking really good, laughing all the way to the bank right now because his championship rivals are nowhere right now.
Yeah. So Kelvin Pao, I mean, he got up into the top 10, but then he went backwards again about halfway through the race. So the championship leader, he runs super wide there. That's going to cost him time down this long straight. The championship leader will be happy to be back into the points.
Indeed, and he's not going to be safe out of the woods yet because Chris Chu has fought back and he made a bit of a mistake there coming up through the chicane section at turn 14 15. Now he is going to have to tap back into the slipstream of Chris Chu. Is he going to retaliate back? Yes, he does. He goes on the inside. We're going to see plenty of that in the other categories as well because that is a perfect zone to get overtaking done as behind there Andrew Look and John McGregor go wheel to wheel and John McGregor gets the better of him. In fact, Andrew Look gets tossed out of the race, so that's unfortunate. He scored points in the first race. He's not going to score this one, so unfortunate end for the Singaporeans weekend.
At the front though, let's go back to the other McGregor. There's Jack Mcgregor pulling out a bit of a gap now, 1.3 seconds in front of Seah, and then Kenneth Wong there in 3rd position. Some small gaps there. Down in 4th position, of course, we've got Nico Sage there. Azmi Arifin in 5th, followed by Yang Ming, so this is getting a bit close. Nicky Lim there in 7th position, and he actually is getting his... Wow, look at that. Kelvin Pao there, the championship leader, is just closing the gap to Lim.
Yeah, Nicky will probably try not to look at his mirrors too much and know the fact that it's a championship leader that he's actually being pursued by. But he'll try to give his all in defending. In fact, he's doing that right now. That's very, very good defending from Nicky, but unfortunately he's going to lose it. He's going to go wide onto the waterfall section through turn 8 and 9, and that's Kelvin Pao on the inside, and presumably he's going to take the position away. Yes, he does. 7th place for Kelvin Pao. It's not going to be too bad at all. In fact, in the overall championship stakes, this is just another few points that he's going to take away from the likes of Villanueva and John McGregor.
Yeah. Nicky Lim just defending. He should have left a bit of space on the shouldn't have gone so narrow when he defended into the chicane. That meant that he ran wide. But yeah, Kelvin Pao through there. Now Lim has to watch in his mirrors again because he has Chris Chu right behind him.
Yeah, in fact, Chris Chu is one of those drivers who is, I think he's making his debut for this round. So he was in the points in that first race. He's going to get points in the second race as well. So this is actually good going for him as we're now coming through the final 2 corners here on this lap, because next time by will be the final lap as Jack McGregor then building on from his podium finish at Watkins Glen. He's going to get another podium here, or even better this time, he's actually going to get a win here at Aragon as he crosses the line. 5 seconds to go. This is the final lap here for the copper class at Aragon.
Yeah, final lap there, Jack McGregor leading. Then just a bit wide there. Kenneth Wong goes a bit wide. That's how hard he's pushing. He doesn't want to settle for 3rd. He wants to get 2nd position if he can.
And looking at the guys who are actually in the top 3, in fact, all of them are Singaporeans, so it's a good day for Singapore here if things finish where they stand. And indeed, it's inevitably going to be standing that way because they're so far ahead. In fact, 3 seconds ahead of Sage Nico. So Nico's going to get a very good weekend as well, a 1st and a 4th place. So that's going to do his... he's not going to challenge for the championship just yet because... in fact, his contention for the championship is well out of it unless something happens to Kelvin Pao, but good points for him nonetheless.
Yang Ming there gets mugged by Azmi Arifin. The Arifin down the inside in the green car. Good move by Arifin. Just came from really far back. And that's a good position there for him.
Indeed, and Yang Ming probably didn't realize that there was actually Azmi on the inside, but nonetheless, if he stays where he is, he's going to get a good haul of points as well. So, not bad for a kid who's also pretty much new to sim racing.
Yeah. Brandon Watanabe rounding down out the top 10 right now. Was right up in race 1. Has not had a good race 2, but at least he's in the points at the moment. Back at the further front though, Yang Ming though is looking to try and get back and move on Azmi Arifin. Doesn't quite make it at this point. He's got a couple more corners. If he can get a good exit out of turn 15 down the back straight, that might serve him well into the hairpin.
Yep, and he actually might want to get back at him as we might have to go back to the front of the field because McGregor has actually lost a bit of time here to the cars behind, but I don't think he will be lunged at the final corner. If he gets his braking right, actually.
He's making a mistake. The lead, the win is on the line, and just with a couple corners to go, he's feeling the pressure.
Well, luckily he didn't lose it there, because that would be the most heartbreaking way to lose a win. But nonetheless, Jack McGregor holds on here to take victory at Aragon Race 2. Second, closely, would be Shuan Seah. Third would be Kenneth Wong. And Sage Nico then, he waves across the line to take a very good 4th place. And indeed, a very good weekend. Yang Meng will be in 6th as Merifin comes across the line to finish 5th. That would be a good recovery for him after his disastrous race around last time at Watkins Glen. 7th, Kelvin Pao, who actually will increase his lead at the top of the championship. 8th there, Chris Chu just nicks it off from Nicky Lim. And 9th will be Bretton Watanabe with John McGregor falling back outside the top 10. So he didn't get points either.
Wow. Okay, so we don't have Jack McGregor on Zoom at the moment, but we can see if we can talk to Kelvin Pao. That'd be quite interesting. See if we can talk to Kelvin Pao and see if we can have a quick chat. He has had a very difficult day today, you have to say. But more importantly, he still has his championship lead. He's still leading the championship. In fact, he's increased his lead. So Kelvin, not an easy day for you, but talk us through it.
Yeah, because I think maybe because of the ballast, I think so I can't be faster than Nico Sage. But actually, it's a very good job for him for able to get a podium, a race win today. So congrats to him. And for race 2, yeah, too much traffic and too many incidents. So I just trying to be careful as possible.
Okay, so well done. At least you've extended your lead in the championship. One more round to go. What will it mean to you if you can win the Copper class?
Sorry?
What will it mean to you if you can win Copper championship?
What did I do?
No. Well, it's been a long season, so it must mean quite a lot to you to win the championship. If you can, one more round to go, of course.
Yeah, just for the next round, the last round, I just going to try to get as many points as I can. If possible, maybe get a race win for the last season. Okay. That will be very good for me.
Okay, well, you did have fastest lap, so thanks very much, Kelvin, and good luck for the next round.
And he did say just now that he wants to go for a race win. Surprisingly, he has actually not won a race since Hockenheim, and that was almost like 3 weeks ago. So, yeah, he'll probably be trying to actually aim for that one to finish off on a high.
Yeah, so that's quite interesting because he was always running at the front, but like you said, he hasn't won a race in a while, but still extending his lead in the championship. So sometimes you need to do that to be a champion. I've been very impressed with him, actually, haven't you, Amo?
Yeah, indeed. And in fact, that probably didn't see him in some of the other races he's done before, but he's done an absolutely brilliant job here. He smashed it in qualifying with 2 pole positions so far, and then a couple of fastest laps as well. So really, it won't be surprising if he actually wins the championship by sheer consistency.
Yeah. And actually, this is his 4th global edition, so he's been in the Copper class for 3 previous global editions, and it's just been nice to see how he's improved, and now he's leading the championship.
Yeah, if he goes on to win it, that will be absolutely well and truly deserved.
Absolutely. Okay, so that's Copper class done and dusted now. We got the Bronze class coming up, and we'll be right back after these few messages.